Get fast, reliable internet for any budget. Now qualifying customers can get Xfinity Internet free through the Affordable Connectivity Program. That's right, free high-speed internet from Xfinity. And Internet Essentials customers can get equipment included at no extra cost. Get started today.
It's time to knock some things off your bucket list. First up, travel the world. If you've always wanted to visit Hong Kong or vacation in the Swiss Alps and wondered what it was like, well, Jeanette, Yvette, and Tina got the scoop for you. These Jet Setting Divas are always at some fun and exotic place experiencing the best of what life has to offer. And each week, they'll tell you all about it. These ladies are always high-flying loads of fun.
Hi, I'm Jeanette.
And I'm Yvette.
And I'm Tina, and we are the Jet Setting Divas. Hey, ladies.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going. What's going on in this world today as far as the travel energy?
The travel, I'm telling you, Yvette, we got to talk about, our experience. We had big plans to go to Minnesota to hang out with our Shaletta Makes Me Laugh family, and it just went awry. I mean, it went from everything going well to just downhill.
I never would have thought, because I see this on the news, on a daily basis almost, but I never thought we would actually experience it. This was a crazy, crazy thing. So Tina and I was flying out to Minnesota, and our flight ended up getting canceled. Mm-hmm. And it was just crazy. We got booked onto another flight, waited. And what happened, Tina?
Yeah, and then after that, I mean, if you hadn't gotten a email or a text before even updated in the app, it was canceled. And she was like, "Oh, the flight's canceled." And I'm like, "Well, okay, I'm right here in the airport." And then she's on the horn, and thankfully Yvette was on the phone. She had the agent there. They called me in. We found another flight that was leaving earlier than our flight. And so we excited. I'm like, Yvette, all right, Yvette got moving. She got on her way. And I'm pretty sure before Yvette even got in the car, that flight had already been delayed. It had already been delayed.
So, ladies, I didn't get to make this trip. I wasn't even planning to go, so you all ended up staying like me. Mm-hmm. But those are a few travel hacks that I think people really like. So, Yvette, you said that you called them as soon as you saw that your flight was canceled, and then you had the app on your phone. So, there's all kind of travel hacks that can help people.
Well,
what helped you all out the most on this trip?
What I didn't like is they didn't send you a notification or email. You actually had to be like, "Oh, let me see what's going on with my flight." You had to log in. You had to log in, and that's how we figured out every time that it was canceled.
Wow!
And I was sitting in the airport, and I was concerned that I'm right here. The boards, nothing is changing. It's just it's now a new flight, a new time, and then that particular flight, after we sat there, Yvette didn't have to rush out of her house, get there. It gets delayed. Then they pushed it back again to like 10:30. And it was like, what?
Some airlines will send you text messages, but you're saying that you all didn't receive anything.
I went back and I was getting emails, but they were not real-time emails.
Okay.
They were not real-time. So the email came, but by that time I'd already known what was going on.
So let's go through this timeline. We were supposed to leave at a 9 p.m. flight. Mm-hmm. Okay, it canceled. Then we rebooked on a 7:20 flight, that was actually leaving earlier, but it was delayed until 9 something, I believe.
Yeah,
it was delayed. 9. And then that particular flight canceled. Then we called them on the phone and was like, "Hey, we need to get out of here. We need another flight." And they put us on a flight at 11.
You got to step back. That 9 o'clock flight actually got delayed again until 10:30. And while we were sitting there and you were looking at the board, you was like, that for Boise or whatever, that other flight was canceled. And then you said, "Oh, I got to notice that we sitting there. Now, it's after 9 o'clock. It was after 8 o'clock. It was almost 9.
We went through so much until I can't even remember what all happened. It was crazy.
And then we leave out. So it was before 8. It was before 9. Because remember, we left. We went out of the exit doors because we wanted to go, because there's a customer service literally right outside the door. So we were like, okay,
guess what they did? Guess what they did?
They made you recheck.
down. No, they closed. They did not want to talk to anybody.
Wow.
So everybody is walking around the airport like, I gotta find a hotel. One lady was like, I gotta go to Target and get some pajamas.
Wow.
Luckily, we didn't check a bag. So people had to check their bags. They didn't have their luggage. They had to go get hotels.
Personal items. And remember, you gotta go to that pack. Go back to our hat, because I'm telling you, if they had their stuff in their purse, they would have had. They would have had them a.
That was a travel hack. Yes. Okay, so you ladies, what airlines were you on, and did you ever find out anything? What happened?
We were on American. Yvette, if you finish telling the story, because I was so upset by that time. I was over there trying to sneak in the baggage claim customer service line and everything.
So long story short, we basically was booked on 3 different flights, even one into Thursday. Yep. We never made it. And our last flight that we was booked on was Friday. They was trying to get us to, we were supposed to leave Wednesday. They put us on a Friday flight.
Yeah, and that was after you actually called. They gave us a Thursday morning time that we would have gotten there at least around 1 o'clock. They rebooked that flight without us and rebooked it to Friday. We're coming back on Saturday.
Friday? Why would we even want to go on Friday? We were at home, so it was okay. It was convenient for us to just stay at home. It's not like we was somewhere and we just had to wait till Friday to even get away from wherever we was. So we just said, forget it. We're not going to go. Please cancel this. Please issue us a credit refund or whatever the case may be.
I mean, think about it. We had events planned.
So what did you all? Yes. What is the plan for that? Because I know you all. I wasn't able to go because I was dealing with things and I couldn't make it. But what do you all do as far as I know you had activities planned for our listeners? Yes. How do you handle it if you got you bought tickets to Paisley Park? You all were going to like the Mall of America, an event. How are you going to get reimbursed? Is the airline willing to reimburse you?
Even before that, we paid for parking. So you think about it, we paid for parking. We prepaid for parking.
I prepaid my parking, so I lost my money on that.
Yeah,
I did email customer service for the airline and told them everything that I had gone through. And they actually gave me points on my mileage. Did you get your points, Tina? They actually gave me points.
I didn't even
on my mileage.
I was so sad. I think when Yvette called me the first time, I actually called because you have to an hour before your parking. If you call an hour before, they'll reimburse it. So, and I was paying for like the expensive parking.
Wow.
And so I canceled my parking right then and there. But then we get on the phone and we're talking to the agent. They're like, oh, we rebooked for an earlier flight. So now I have no parking. So now I'm like, okay, where do I park? So I went back to this expensive parking, but I was going to be parked for 3 days. Only to, have left, but, so that was money out my pocket, those 4, 5, 6 hours we were there, I had to pay per hour for parking. And then I was kind of handling the Paisley Park. One thing that I was upset about is I gave them over 48 hours notice. They did not respond to me, Yvette, until yesterday. And they were pretty much like, well, we have a refund policy. So I told them, I said, listen to our podcast because we're definitely going to be talking about Paisley Park because I feel like they should have some type of, definitely some kind of compensation or at least an accommodation for extenuating circumstances. And everything is email, no verbal conversation with anybody. Yeah. So I'm a little bit upset that their process is like, oh, well, you lost your money by, because now I'm going to not want to go to Paisley Park and I'm going to write a scathing review on my TripAdvisor saying, how, we didn't get the most expensive one, but we definitely got access for 90 minutes. So that was my deal. And then I kind of followed the same process that Yvette did.
So my travel hack for the whole situation is that you all should have gotten travel insurance. And I know we've talked about a yearly policy, but I do know, like, I've got a trip coming up this weekend, and I would now, Tina, what I will do listening to what you said is I'm going to put any excursions that I buy up front. I'm going to put that as a part of my travel.
Exactly.
That and the travel that I'm taking, it's a 4-day to Grand Cayman. I'm paying $30 for the 4 days for like $800 with between all of the accommodations and all the expenses. So we've talked about yearly policy. So I think that's the way that we can get past. That's a travel hack for people to do. Get a year
Yeah.
policy,
Yeah,
and that way it would have covered.
that's
It
a
would have
good thing.
covered everything.
Because it definitely took a lot of time out of our day. Not only did the flights were delayed, but then we probably spent most of the evening, most of the early morning, trying to make up for all the things that we had already paid for. Which I think my time is way more valuable. Also, that I definitely need to include the cost of.
That's what I was going to say too. You should also put that in your travel. You could put, if you're taking off a day from work, maybe you add that. That's another travel hack. You add that into. I never even thought about that. But you all had possibly taken off from work, so you would add that into your travel expenses that you would try to get reimbursed for and that you would have insurance for.
And so I'm going to shout out to, because I booked a dinner. I think we were doing a barbecue lunch cruise with Al and Almas. Al and Almas is the name of the company that I booked through, and they have a non-refundable. They do not give you your money back. So I paid for Tina and I to go on this river cruise. I emailed them and I told them everything that happened. And they said, they responded back and they said, normally we do not give a refund. Because of your circumstances, we are sending you your money back.
Wow.
And so I am going, and I emailed them back and I said, shout out to you. I will talk about you on my podcast.
Okay.
And we go to Minnesota often. So we will definitely book again. You will actually get this money back, probably plus some.
Yeah, and you know what? And that made so much sense because one of the things I didn't mention is when we were purchasing tickets to Paisley Park, they had they allowed you to put 2 tickets in your cart, but when we checked out, we could only do 1 ticket. So only Yvette was actually going to go to Paisley Park because I've already gone before, and they would not even refund me that 1 ticket. And who else 1 ticket? And the excuse or the reasoning was it's overbooked, it's crowded. So if it is, pay me, give me my money.
The good thing about that is you all didn't buy 2 tickets and have to be reimbursed for 2. You only had to be to be reimbursed for 1.
I definitely believe that customer service, if you were customer friendly, you definitely would say, hey, you know what? She's gonna come back. And I put even a copy of my canceled flights in the email showing that it was canceled, that I had every intentions on going, and they said we reviewed it in our back office, but we decided not to. I'm like, okay, thank you, Paisley Park. I think that you will definitely, you will definitely get a ding from me on this one.
I've got another question for our listeners too. Yvette, what did you email the airlines? Did you pick up the phone and call them? How did you get this credit that you got? How do our listeners know when they've been had in this situation how to handle it?
Well, I emailed the airline directly and I put in a complaint basically.
Okay, all right.
And basically they emailed me back and said, we're adding points to your AAdvantage account. You should see them within 24 hours. But I can say that the points is not even enough to take a round trip. I researched it to see. I said, can I even take a round trip? The points are enough to go 500 miles domestic one way.
Again, you got to get that travel insurance, and we keep talking about a policy for the year because we keep getting these individual ones, but we need to get that yearly.
I think really, I mean, ultimately, the loss was really Paisley Park's admission, our parking, and so we did okay because even American Airlines. One thing I will say, they have a process. Contact customer relations. They have a complaint, or if you want to have a compliment or a complaint. They even have definitely a drop down for it. You put the information in, and you hit send, and you go through the process. Pending that you've already canceled you have to cancel your ticket. That's the one condition. You can't just put in a complaint. Go ahead and cancel your ticket, and then put in your complaint.
Yeah. So I decided to do a reel. I did some research, and we can talk about this reel because it gives you. It's on our Instagram, so go to our Instagram to look at it. So it actually gives you 5 ways that you need to book an early morning flight. you need to book an early morning flight. Like Tina, I had already told Tina and Jeanette, we are not booking late flights anymore.
And I don't even know why, because we had all day.
I was planning on going, and I was going to
But
work
we should have thought about that and just rebook
because
early.
that is another travel. That's another travel hack that you get on that first flight, because those first flights probably went out. And I apologize, lady, I wasn't able to make it, and I asked for that late flight. But you know, that's one of my travel hacks. Take the first flight out of the day.
Because if you on the first flight of the day, if something happened, if something is canceled, delayed, you got many more flights to choose from throughout the day. You're on a fresh
even
plane.
Possibly if you need to get another airline, if you have to, if you depend on what you're and I think that, go back to what you said before. If you have an event that you need to go to, do not go the day before. We just that was another. We just need to make sure that we had gone a couple of days before.
Another travel hack. Get out there
early. Because y'all remember what I did when we had a snowstorm here in Dallas and I was in Minnesota. I immediately flew back to Dallas and jumped on another plane and flew to
you sure did.
Hawaii because we were gonna be snowed in. I got out a day ahead of time. So you just gotta plan ahead.
Yeah. And and I was looking, there were young people there that were planning to be somewhere. And you know what do? You most of them had to sleep in the airport, or it's not convenient to have to get a car service or get a Uber or get some type of rental car to get out. I mean, it's a big inconvenience. We lived in the city, and thankfully that we didn't have to go through that process of getting hotels and things like that for however long we would have to stay. But it's just not convenient at all. And I wish airlines would take that into consideration.
Well, ladies, I'm sorry to hear about what happened with you all. I know we've been on these kind of situations before where you're just stuck. And I think we gave the listeners a lot of great information on hacks of how to handle this.
Yeah. Any other final words, Yvette?
I say, just plan ahead of time. Be cautious. The airlines are short-staffed. So be open-minded and be ready for anything to happen. Seriously.
And I'm going to say, I know people like to travel alone, but it's always great to travel in a team because, without Yvette, I could only imagine me trying to call, drive, do all the different things. And I think it was definitely a team effort.
Absolutely. And I'm glad the way you all handled it, ladies. You just seemed like you handled it gracefully and you got the points that you got. You all did the customer service. So again, I think we're giving the users many hacks of how to handle this type of situation because they're probably going to be in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the way of the world here.
Well, I'm Jeanette.
And I'm Yvette.
And I'm Tina. And we are the Jet Setting Divas.
Please go to our social media and follow Jet Setting Divas. We are on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram. We give good travel information. So take a look and follow us.
Tune in next Thursday when the Jet Setting Divas will tell you about another fun destination spot that you'll want to visit. For more on their excursions, log on to ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
At Hy-Vee, we take pride of being part of the communities we serve. In 2021, we donated more than 14 million meals, and this year, we're committed to doing even more. For over 90 years, we've been the place that people turn in time of need, and we take that very seriously. That's why we're loading our semis full of food this week and making deliveries across the Midwest to help families this Easter. To join our effort, simply donate when you're at the checkout. Together, we can make a big difference for those in need.
Y'all know how important helping the community is to me, and let's be honest, our communities need us right now. All of us. People are always asking me, Shaletta, how can I make a difference? Well, I have the answer. Xcel Energy is putting on its annual day of service and you can take part. It's happening Thursday, September 8th through Sunday, September 11th. There will be nearly 80 nonprofit projects where you can volunteer to pack meals for folks in need, put together school supply kits, and more. Join thousands of your neighbors along with Xcel Energy employees. You can even get your kids involved. It's a meaningful opportunity for your entire family to make a difference. To learn more about Xcel Energy's Day of Service project, go to their website at www.xcelenergy.com/DOSinfo. Do your part to give back to the places where we all live and work.
All right, did you know I was the Mommy Slam Dunk Champion?
Really?
Yes, really don't sound so surprised.
Let's see it.
Oh, you're ready. All right, here we go. Let's hear the crowd. So go to right, I go to left, fake a mom. Mama go up, mama!
She did it.
Again?
You can't avoid gravity, but United Healthcare can help you avoid financial surprises by helping you compare costs and doctor quality ratings. United Healthcare.
Uh-huh.